Idalia pummels Florida's Gulf Coast.
They're all little old school Florida villas, and they were just picked up and carried into the Gulf.
And that was only the beginning. Immigrant children who were bussed away from the border.
We're happy to keep them here and work on things that we can work on to help facilitate that.
Start the school year hundreds of miles from home. Happily ever after.
I wish he could just bark and tell us that we could understand.
Man's best friend found after more than 2 years. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Leanna Bush.
I'm Anthony Cruz. Today is Thursday, August 31st, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Idalia heads out to sea as a tropical storm, but not before causing devastation in Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. Experts say that at a Category 3, it was the most destructive storm to ever hit Florida's Big Bend, which is the bridge between the peninsula and the Panhandle.
Idalia caused major flooding and sent roaring winds that toppled many trees in the area. CNN's Gloria Pozmino has more on the aftermath.
Hurricane Idalia pummeled Florida's Gulf Coast, bringing winds of up to 125 miles per hour. The gusts strong enough to topple trees by this house in Perry, Florida.
No!
The powerful Category 3 hurricane making landfall Wednesday and unleashing heavy rains and triggering record-breaking storm surge.
We just knew that storm surge was going to be coming in. Mixed with that high tide, that was the scariest part.
Streets along the coast swallowed by water.
These are all little old school Florida villas, and they were just picked up and carried into the Gulf. So that was heartbreaking to see.
Hundreds of thousands of homes are without power in Georgia and Florida, and the widespread flooding forcing major highways like US 19 in Citrus County to close.
This road is shut down in major portions in my county right now due to the storm surge that we're seeing.
Several thousand homes along the coast in Pasco County now underwater.
We have water at least 18 inches or higher that have gone into these homes.
Idalia turned northeast to Georgia as a Category 1 hurricane and then a tropical storm, unleashing heavy rains and strong winds. All of Georgia is now under a state of emergency.
It's a dangerous storm. People need to prepare.
City Hall right here in Crystal River took on about 8 feet of water when that storm surge came in, rushing into the building. So it's all finally starting to recede. And the cleanup process, the recovery process, and the assessment of the damage that's happened here will start tomorrow morning. We are in Crystal River. I'm Gloria Pasmino. Back to you.
As we enter this hurricane season, FEMA's budget is continuously stretched thin. Here's Hawa Izel with more on the story.
As Hurricane Idalia nears Florida, you see its size and its speed. But the agency leading the federal response to this storm sees another thing: bills. As in, how much money, or lack thereof, it has to help with the almost certain damage this hurricane will cause.
FEMA's Disaster Relief Fund, which as of this morning has a balance of $3.4 billion. So today, I am directing the implementation of immediate needs funding.
FEMA's director says the agency will prioritize the $3.4 billion it has left for Idalia, the Maui fires, and other extreme weather. But that leaves them shorthanded for the rest of the fiscal year, especially after what's been a record-breaking amount of weather-related disasters in such little time.
We started with atmospheric rivers in California in January, extreme tornadoes in the spring, to the wildfires, and now we are in peak hurricane season.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says a new record has been set for the first 7 months of the year. 15 events caused more than $1 billion in damages each, and this was before Maui and the 18 disasters last year, costing $165 billion.
This is the absolute worst disaster I've ever seen.
FEMA is asking Congress for $12 billion more to get through the fiscal year.
This is our new normal.
For Caplin News, I'm Hawa Izel reporting.
All over the country, children are returning to school after summer break. In Maine, some schools are taking a significant number of children of asylum seekers. Caplin News reporter Valeria Morales has more on the story.
It's an opportunity for our district to experience diversity.
That has been the common refrain from the main school districts taking in significant numbers of asylum seeker children this year, mainly Lewiston and RSU 5 encompassing Freeport, which are accepting children from local hotels after they were moved from the Portland Expo, along with Sanford, where migrants have also flocked to this year. Sanford Assistant Superintendent says the real challenge has been in communication and hiring extra staff.
Our outreach staff has contacted families, had in-person conversations with them, letting them know this is when school starts, this is where the bus stop is. We have brought on a new ESOL staff member. This week, as staff return, we are providing all of our staff with professional development.
Sanford will welcome 55 new migrant students this year, while Freeport will bring 67 and Lewiston around 20. But Lewiston Superintendent Jen Langlace says the real challenge for his district is the uncertainty of the hotel situation, as Lewiston Ramada Inn will only host asylum seekers through November 1st as it stands.
The students happen to be displaced because of the agreement timelines at the Ramada. We're happy to keep them here and work on things that we can work on to help facilitate that. But I really feel for the families.
The Casco Bay Inn in Freeport will be holding asylum seekers for up to a year. Its school district RSU 5 is also expanding staff with a new language teacher and ED Tech position approved. Its superintendent said all 67 students were enrolled by today's first day of school, and their impact will be felt immediately. For Caplin News, I'm Valeria Morales.
2 leaders of the Proud Boys are having their sentences and hearings rescheduled. The men are identified as Enrique Tarrio and Ethan Nordin. The hearings for Nordin is taking place on Friday, and Tarrio's hearing will take place on Tuesday. The rescheduling is due to Judge Timothy Kelly dealing with a medical issue. The 2 men are convicted of being involved in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol.
A heartwarming story this morning coming out as a family was able to reconnect with their dog Panda, who they had not seen in over 2 years. Panda went missing from the family's home near Denver. Where was Panda this entire time? In the state of Kansas, nearly 500 miles away.
I just want to ask Panda what he went through.
I know. I wish he could just bark and tell us that we could understand. ¿Verdad, Panda? ¿Qué hiciste todo ese tiempo?
It's been two long years, 2.5 years.
The couple says that the 7-year-old bull terrier was found by a shelter that successfully trapped his microchip. How he got there, we still do not know, but that shelter said that the moment he sniffed his family, he brightened right up.
Off-duty American airline attendants are still protesting at airports this morning. Flight attendants are fighting for a new contract, including more staffing on flights and a pay raise. This decision came after the airline reached a deal with pilots to give them a 21% pay raise, with the goal of reaching a 46% raise by 2027. Although the airline made $1.3 billion in profit last quarter, they still refuse to act. The Miami Marlins looking for redemption after a harsh loss against the Tampa Bay Rays.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
Bueno, hay que seguir y todavía hay muchas cosas por decir.
A trophy presentation at last night's Inter-Miami game, and it's a rematch. The second team who came in second. Wait, Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
Inter Miami is back home and looking to continue their winning ways after their recent success in the Leagues Cup and US Open Cup. The game ended in a scoreless tie, but the real excitement was before the game.
Inter Miami was presented with the trophy from the Leagues Cup Championship. Coincidentally, it was the exact same opponent as the Cup Championship game earlier this month. The head coach spoke with reporters after the match.
Y lo que tenemos que hacer es seguir adelante. Esto puede pasar.
What we have to do is continue forward. This could happen. It's true that we came a little unprepared with title and access with a game won with the league the other day in New York, and we have to continue. And there's still a lot to say.
En Nueva York, pero bueno, hay...
Caplin News had its own close call with the Leagues Cup trophy. Reporter Daniela Toki got the chance to take a picture with the cup during the game.
This morning, the Miami Marlins fall below 500 on the back of another loss against the Tampa Bay Rays. Although they gave it their all, the Marlins couldn't seem to catch a break this past Wednesday, losing 3-0 against the Rays. This is their second loss to Tampa Bay, but we're hoping their luck changes today as they go head-to-head with the Washington Nationals. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Leanne Absalbush. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.